Picture a massive mountain fortress wrapped in the dead of night. This is Kondhana. Its sheer stone faces and brutal elevation made a direct assault seem like a guaranteed death sentence. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was actively securing his borders and expanding the Maratha Empire. But Kondhana remained heavily guarded under enemy control, effectively strangling the region and blocking Maratha movements. The fort sat atop a dense volcanic plateau. The surrounding ridges dropped off into severe, near-vertical cliffs. Traditional siege towers or artillery simply could not reach the walls. Taking this specific stronghold required the Maratha army to break an immense psychological barrier. They had to achieve something that the terrain itself dictated was impossible. Far below the fort, Maratha commander Tanhaji Malusare was immersed in preparations for his son's wedding. His home was filled with guests, music, and the heavy anticipation of a major family milestone. That celebration halted when a dispatch arrived from Shivaji Maharaj. The orders were blunt: capture Kondhana immediately. Tanhaji stood between the safety of his family's courtyard and a grueling night march toward a heavily armed enemy garrison waiting hundreds of feet above the tree line. He chose the mountain. Stepping away from the festivities, Tanhaji gathered his armor and famously declared that his duty to the nation would come before his duty to his family. The survival of early states often relied on this exact calculus. A leader's vision only materializes when individuals willingly trade their own lives and domestic peace to secure it. Under the cover of complete darkness, Tanhaji and a select unit of infantry marched to the base of Kondhana without alerting the sentries above. Standing at the bottom of the gorge, the soldiers faced a smooth rock face leading directly up to heavy stone battlements. Marching an army up to the main gates would have been a massacre. This diagram outlines their unorthodox approach. They deployed a monitor lizard, sending her scaling the sheer rock face to haul up a thick climbing rope. One by one, soldiers gripped that single line and pulled themselves up the vertical drop. A single slip or a spotted sentry would have ended the entire campaign right there in the dark. They bypassed miles of stone walls and iron gates by exploiting the exact vertical terrain the enemy assumed would protect them. As the Marathas slipped over the ramparts, the silence broke. The garrison sounded the alarm, and the courtyard erupted into chaotic, close-quarters combat. Tanhaji cut his way through the melee, directly toward the fort's commander, a heavily armed Rajput warrior named Udayban. The two commanders engaged in a brutal duel. It was a punishing exchange of heavy sword strikes, fought entirely on foot while the battle raged around them. Under the relentless assault from Udayban, the wooden and leather frame of Tanhaji's shield finally buckled and shattered. Left completely exposed, Tanhaji unwound the heavy cloth of his turban, wrapped it tightly around his left forearm, and used his own protected limb to catch and deflect Udayban's sword blows. When the physical tools of war disintegrate, survival comes down to raw adaptation. Tanhaji held the line using his own body. Absorbing horrific damage, Tanhaji found an opening and landed a fatal strike, bringing Udayban down and collapsing the enemy command structure. But his wounds were too severe. Moments after striking the final blow, Tanhaji collapsed on the stone courtyard and died. His surviving soldiers cleared the remaining defenders and raised the Maratha flag over Kondhana. The strategic objective was completely secure. When the dispatch rider reached Shivaji Maharaj to report the victory, the king wept. His response was immediate. The fort is won, but the lion is gone. To honor that sacrifice, Shivaji Maharaj stripped the fort of the name Kondhana. He renamed it Sinhagad, the Lion's Fort, ensuring that the empire would permanently recognize the man who paid for its walls. Historical maps log these events as clear tactical wins, but the borders of an empire are ultimately drawn in the blood of the individuals who refuse to retreat.